the great deserts and behind the quiet blue mountains, there was a valley forgotten by time. Travelers who passed nearby always said the same thing. The air there feels older, but peaceful, like it remembers every story ever told. In that quiet valley lay a small village named Lunaria, where stone houses wore roofs of clay, and the streets curved gently like flowing water. Life in Lunaria was slow and soft. The mornings were filled with the scent of warm bread, and the evenings with the sound of the river humming its ancient lullaby. At the very heart of the village stood an old round building, the Moonstone Library. Its walls were made of pale stones that glowed silver whenever moonlight touched them. No one knew who built it. Some whispered that it had been created by ancient scholars. Others believed it appeared one night when the stars were especially bright. Inside this library lived Elder Aramis, a wise old man with silver hair and eyes that always seemed to be dreaming. He had spent his entire life reading scrolls, polishing ancient lamps, and keeping the library's secrets safe. Every night, just as the last sunlight faded, the villagers gathered around to hear him tell a gentle old story. One cool evening, as a soft wind rolled down from the mountains, Aramis brought out a scroll he had never opened before. Its ribbon was faded, and its paper smelled of rain and forgotten years. The villagers leaned closer, and Aramis began to read in a slow, soothing voice. The tale of Lyra, the traveler of time. Long ago, in an age when cities rose and fell like morning shadows, there lived a young traveler named Lyra. She carried only a small satchel and a wooden flute carved from the branch of an ancient tree. Lyra was not a warrior nor a scholar. She wandered the world simply because she loved to listen, to the wind, to the rivers, to the stories hidden in old stones. Wherever she went, she played her flute, and its gentle sound made even wild storms grow quiet. One night, after many days of travel, Lyra reached the gates of an ancient, forgotten city. The high marble walls were cracked, and ivy curled around the broken towers. The whole place felt like a breath held for far too long. She walked through its silent streets, no footsteps but her own, no voices, no torches burning. It was as if the entire city had been sleeping for 1,000 years. In the center of the empty city stood a tall, spiraling tower. Lyra climbed the winding steps, one step, then another, slowly, peacefully, until at last she reached the top. There she found a massive hourglass, taller than her, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Inside it, silver sand rested completely still. It hadn't moved in centuries. Lyra touched the cool glass. "Why has time stopped here?" she whispered, and without thinking she brought her flute to her lips and played a soft, peaceful melody. A tune so gentle that even the night breeze seemed to pause to listen. The final note drifted across the moonlit sky, and then the impossible happened. The silver sand inside the hourglass began to fall again, slowly, softly, like snow drifting in winter. A warm wind swept through the silent city. Fountains began to flow once more. Lamps flickered to life in windows. Birds took flight from rooftops, shaking off centuries of stillness. Time had awakened. The city breathed again. Lyra smiled, a quiet smile, and walked down the tower's steps. Her work was done. She had restored the rhythm the city had forgotten. She left as silently as she came, her footsteps fading into the night as the people of the ancient city slowly opened their eyes after a long, long sleep. Back to Lunaria. As Elder Aramis finished reading the scroll, the village around him grew silent. The river slowed its song. The mountains stood as gentle guardians under the silver moon. Even the night air softened, as if it too was drifting towards sleep. One by one, the villagers walked home, their lanterns glowing like small stars in the dark. Children fell asleep before reaching their beds, leaning on their parents' shoulders. The old houses of Lunaria seemed to sigh with comfort. Elder Aramis rolled up the scroll, placed it back on the shelf, and whispered, "May time be kind to all who seek rest." Then he blew out his candle. The Moonstone Library dimmed into quiet darkness, and the valley slept. Calm, peaceful, and timeless, as the stars kept watch over the world once more.